So here we go with the second of the semi-finals. Alexander Massialas of the USA on the left of your screen taking on Richard Kruse of Great Britain.
Yeah, Massialas has a slight lean forward in his on-guard position, disruptive going backwards and happy to go all the way to his back line. Very deliberate blade actions and likes the attack, but Richard Kruse strikes first. The master tactician can beat anyone on his day, keeps his blade well out of the way on the attack and forces his opponents into making mistakes. Great on his defence and has a brilliant stop hit as well, usually followed up with a parry riposte for those of you in the know of fencing vernacular.
So this is the foil. It is a point weapon. The target area is the lame, the silver lame vest, and the bib, the lower section of their mask, the bib section of their mask. Richard Kruse gets another point and gets an early lead. It's a point weapon and it has a right of way, doesn't it, Karen?
It does indeed. The referee's got to decide who the attacking fencer is. And I mentioned the stop hit there. Well, that's a counter action. If you do a stop hit, you've got to run away and not get hit because it's not your right of way. But the referee has to make that final call as to who has the right of way in the final action.
The other thing that we'll see in foil is a white light come on, and that's an off-target light, and that will stop the actual passage and they will restart where they left off. And sometimes if a coloured light comes on and a white light comes on, if it's the attacking fencer that gets the white light, then no point will be decided. So it's not a question of whether you hit the target or whether you don't hit the target, it's whether you had the right of way. And if you hit off target with the right of way, it doesn't matter if the other person hits you on target. Hope that's made it clear. That is foil.
Well, this is foil at its best. These two both won major events this season. And Alex Massialas off the mark. Greg looking quite relaxed there, his dad and coach applauding calmly, but it is early days here.
Well, Greg Massialas was a former Olympic fencer himself. Alexander, his sister Sabrina also fences. She's 20th in the world in foil, but did not make the very strong women's foil team. And no hit there, both off target. Alexander Massialas was the youngest athlete of any sport in the US team in London 2012, and that gave him the experience to come here with already won Olympic Games under his belt.
Well, conversely, Graham, it's the fourth Olympic Games for Richard Kruse, and I had a brief chat with the Team GB chef de mission, and he said that now Richard is someone to look up to for team members from all sports in Team GB.
He certainly has the experience. He likes to work his way, work things out. He's very much a thinking athlete. He speaks fluent Hungarian, and when he's not fencing, he loves to travel to countries like way off the beaten track, very surprising countries, and he plays the bagpipes. I wonder if he's got a set in the Olympic Village. Go down quite so well.
Going for the attack to shoulder, but it's parried out by the American, who hits with a riposte and draws level. Big support for the American by the sounds of things in this crowd.
Well, in the quarter-final, Alexander Massialas had an absolute battle to get through against the Italian Giorgio Avola. And he was 14-8 down and just amazingly came back through, and that would have taken a lot of energy out of him, but it would also given him a huge adrenaline pump going into these semi-finals. And Massialas sneaking ahead now.
Yeah, so Kruse got the better of the beginning, but we're still very early days.
So Massialas speaks fluent Mandarin. We're talking about Richard Kruse speaking fluent Hungarian. Massialas speaks Mandarin.
Well, he won the Shanghai Grand Prix just recently, and he said to me afterwards that winning that was fantastic for him because his grandmother, who lives in Shanghai, was there to witness it, and that's a fabulous attack from Richard Kruse to the shoulder. Let me tell you, that takes years of training to land that hit so accurately, and with a flick, which these days is very tough to do in foil.
It's harder now because they've changed the weighting of the actual button at the end of the foil.
And the amount of time that foil has to stay on the target for that hit to register is a bit longer than it used to be.
So 3 apiece. 1 minute left in this first period. It's 3 periods of 3 minutes with a 1 minute break in between the two. And that's one for Richard Kruse.
Another stop hit there.
So stop hit means it wasn't his turn to attack. He got in there and got out of the way. And if you can only put 1 light on the box, then that's enough. It doesn't have to be your turn as long as you don't get hit.
Absolutely, that's it. It's a hit to stop the attack. Tries another one. Doesn't land it this time. Picks up the right of way, but a brilliant block out from Massialas. You can use your sword arm as well as your sword to defend yourself. And as you see here in the replay, Massialas does bring his arm right back to block out the flick from Richard Kruse.
So 4 apiece.
Again, that flick to shoulder's not working. That one smarted a bit on Massialas. Totally accidental from Kruse, but a counter-attack there from Massialas lands. And you see him standing upright to stop that flick from going over the shoulder. Nice move from the American. Followed up with a very simple attack.
So Kruse has to keep his head in the game now. To the American.
Kruse finds the parry, but Massialas is on a bit of a roll now, and he's landing hit after hit after hit.
Right, what can Richard Kruse do now?
Well, he's got to get back into his sort of dancey footwork coming forwards, but what Massialas is doing is Massialas is stepping in immediately, closing the distance right up. So for me, Richard Kruse has to step and open the distance, step away, open it up, as he's doing right now. But Massialas is pressing on him. Kruse trying his hardest to find a way through.
Well, the referee had called halt there. 7-4, still the score. 34 seconds left on the clock before the first of these breaks. Off target from Massialas. Well, if Richard Kruse could take a medal here, it would, I think, be the first British medal of these Rio Games.
The first British fencing medal for over 50 years.
Well, yeah, if we're talking about fencing medals, the last time Britain won a gold, the only time Britain won the last time Britain won a gold was Gillian Sheen in 1956 in Melbourne. That's 60 years ago. The last medal that Britain won in fencing was a silver in 1964. Bill Hoskins in the épée. That's 52 years ago.
Well, at the moment, it looks like Massialas is not going to worry about whether Britain are going to get a medal. He's on a roll of his own. He wants that gold for sure.
Time for one final attack, yes, but it's come. That was that off target.
It was indeed, yeah.
Kruse's attack, but off target. So Massialas, although he hit on target, does not register a point. And we go into the first break with the American 8-4 up over the Briton Richard Kruse.
Well, here we see Greg Massialas talking to his son. He's blowing a little bit heavy here, but he'll take on a bit of fluid. Kruse not looking as puffed out as Massialas, and Zdeněk Wojciechowski, his coach, giving him some advice. He's staying fairly calm at the moment. I think Richard likes that. He doesn't like to be put under high stress. He wants to just fence his own natural game. Massialas, though, with this lead, could come out and could try and finish this one off quickly. Really intriguing second period to come up as we watch these beautiful slow motion replays.
Well, it was actually Zdeněk Wojciechowski who got Richard Kruse into fencing in the first place.
Yeah, Richard's mum was looking for something for him to do when he was a kid, because he was a bit of a he needed constant entertainment, and I think she bumped into Zdeněk, who I think was a neighbour of hers, in a supermarket, and he said, bring him along to my fencing club, I'll look after him for a couple of hours. And here he is at his 4th Olympics, and well, one victory away from a medal. Of course, if he loses this, then he will fight off the bronze, but I'm sure he's coming onto the piste to try and do something about this 8-4 deficit.
He's up against the world #1 in Alex Massialas, who's coached by his father, Greg, fighting out of San Francisco.
Yeah, and as suspected, it's Massialas who's coming out on the attack. I'm sure that Richard and his coach, Zemek, knew that was going to happen, so I'll have a plan to deal with it. But Massialas is a whirlwind when he's on a run.
Well, Kruse is the master tactician, and there is one back.
Next one, Richard, says Zemek Wojciechowski. He wants another Olympic success. He's been at multiple Olympics over the years.
Well, if Alex Massialas' body was a pincushion and you could see all the hits, they'd all be on the back of Alex Massialas' shoulder. That's where Kruse is hitting most of the time. And there is that other one.
The stop hit again into the shoulder of the front this time. And Greg Massialas just saying to his son, Alex, don't go so big on the first step on your attack. That's when you're vulnerable to the Kruse stop hit.
Target.
Take your time to set it up.
There you go. I think you heard that. Take your time to set it up. Don't go rushing in. Kruse is dangerous with that counter.
Well, Kruse has the experience, 33 years old, against the 22-year-old Alexander Massialas. And Kruse...
Well, I think Massialas found the beat then.
Yeah.
Has the right of way. If you beat, establishes the right of way.
Yeah, although Kruse hit first, Massialas beat the blade, which meant that it was no longer Kruse's attack, and the right of way had changed hands. Take your time to set it up. The instructions keep coming from the father, Greg. Well, the Americans have won fencing gold in the past. Two golds in women's sabre.
Yeah, Marielle Zagunis, and she'll be fencing in a couple of days' time here in Rio in Carioca Stadium.
Another point for Alexander Massialas. That was confirmed by the video.
Massialas is getting hit after hit here, and Richard Kruse is finding it difficult to find a way through. Massialas is showing why he's world #1. He can fence at a very high intensity, but Kruse has definitely had an influence on the speed of this match, and Massialas has matched up to him.
So whoever wins this, and it's looking a little bit more like it's going to be Alexander Massialas, will face Daniela Garozzo in the final. Garozzo went through against Timur Safin of Russia, and another hit for Alexander Massialas. What can Richard Kruse do now?
Well, the stop hit's been working, but Massialas has just slowed down the start of the attack, so Kruse is going to have to come out on the attack himself.
Well, Massialas knows he's 6 points up. It's 12-6. Doesn't want to take any risks. Kruse is attacking. Massialas almost off the back line.
Kruse has got to keep him under pressure, but he needs a space to build up that attack.
That's
a lovely beat attack there from Richard Kruse. He's not out of this yet. He needs to keep the pressure on Massialas, because Massialas has worked out how to land the attack. He can't afford for Massialas to build an attack.
So Kruse needs to get some more points on the board if he wants to stay in contention. Remember, 15 is the target. Massialas now attacking. Kruse going past.
He missed the first one to the shoulder then. But somehow Massialas was unable to land. He turned his body around a little bit, and Kruse lands with a continuation of his riposte.
So they're just having a look at the video replay to see if Kruse maybe stepped off the side of the piece. Did he step off the side of the piece before the hit actually landed? Touche! That's it, point.
Well, it was Massialas who was turning, and it was Massialas who went past. Kruse scores a valid touch within 4. Needs a couple more to make Massialas think a little bit more. But this patient approach from the American has been working in this fight. Parry riposte is not given. It's given as a beat attack going through. No complaints from the British fencer. Yeah, he just blocked out the attack from Kruse. Bit too obvious from the British fencer there, already in a closed line when he tried to land the attack.
So Massialas just 2 points away from booking a place in the final. Richard Kruse needs to do something now.
Parry riposte off target for the British fencer. Massialas not given the room to build his attack now. Kruse working very, very hard, but he's got to stay right in this, otherwise Massialas is going to run away with it.
Oh, that's a good one from Kruse.
Back into preparation.
So Massialas hadn't started his attack, he was thinking about it, he was preparing his attack, and Kruse just, well, if you're not going to attack, have that. And got his attack into the preparation. Oh, there we go.
Beat attack for the American. He found the right of way. Kruse thought he'd stepped in and blocked, but he hadn't. Massialas scores his 14th. He's 1 away from fighting off the gold here in Rio at the Olympic Games.
So Alex Massialas has 1 foot in the final. Richard Kruse pushed right back onto the back line.
And he's done it.
That is it. Alex Massialas is through to the final. The Americans and the crowd cheer. A huge roar from the young American. And it will be an Italy-American final. And Richard Kruse will have to go through to a very nervous bronze medal match to